Okay, this is our second time trying to record this, isn't it, Connor?
Yeah.
I mean, it only happened 4 seconds ago, but we should probably just still say it. I don't know. Anyways, lads, by the title, you should know what we're going to talk about in this little podcast for a second. Anyway, okay. We are announcing the official launch of our first EP. Yeah, so we're just here to talk a bit about it and give you some information about what actually happened and why it took so long and what's been going on and stuff. So, yes,
yeah,
we jump straight into it. Give some release dates anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to release the first song.
How do you do it?
How do you do it? Now you might remember that song from a demo we made actually, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to do a video comparing the both of them and being like, listen to this, listen to that, because we talked about this a little bit before. But when you're doing like an EP, I haven't seen a lot of people releasing demos. I mean, they release demos, but they just sound like completely finished tracks, like. Whereas we literally went balls raw and just went, here's what we did in our bedroom, here's the ideas behind it, which made us look a bit shit. Yeah. But now we get to be like...
But it really helped.
Yeah, like, it's like throwing a load of paint on the canvas, and now we actually went to the art studio, and put the colours in place and went, now this is what the picture looks like. We just gave you a stick figure, now you're getting the whole Mona Lisa. Not to blow our own horn, but it's I really ever, you can go back and listen to a couple of podcasts, Connor, as well. I really say that I'm like, I like what I did, but these are actually good. These are really good. I'm quite proud of these now, to be honest.
No,
blood, sweat,
I
and
am
tears,
as well.
Connor.
Like as we'll talk about, like the amount of time and effort we put into these.
We'll get into it. But sorry to I'm very terrible at, like, I always jump all over the place. But before I forget. This song is getting released on the 14th, but we're releasing a song every 2 weeks because we do have the EP is 3 songs long. It's roughly like 15 minutes the whole thing together. So you can look forward to a mash of content now for the next month and a half, because in the meantime we already have kind of ideas for the next kind of run of stuff we want to do. But that's the information anyway. It's going to be released on the 14th, and this week is going to be a little build up, a little bits of content.
Yeah, there's gonna be loads of cool, exciting posts.
I'm talking about basically the idea behind the song and all that, and some lyric explanation videos or whatever and stuff. And just more promotion so you definitely have heard it by the time we start promoting the next one. So we've every 2 weeks there's gonna be a song after the 14th. So you can expect tons of content and videos and blah blah blah. And it's gonna be a different side to us. It's gonna be a more kind of serious side, because this is like, as far as art is concerned, this is when we're taking ourselves kind of a little bit more serious now. As in, like, we want to create legacy building art, as in leave something solid behind. This is our first piece of solid work, which we're not gonna joke around with and slag and kind of be jovial with it. We're actually going to be like, this is us, this is the music we made, this is a piece of us, please enjoy it. A little bit of heart and soul went into it, you know what I mean? And so it was a very long process now, I have to say. It took us, a lot of shit went on in between, like this. We've had our hands on these 3 songs for fucking, since, I think, June maybe, but it's like mid-August probably by the time it gets released. But it's been a long process, but like, you know, life happens and stuff, you know?
Yeah. So some of the songs, like, I'm not going to mention the names, but some of the songs where, you know, we've done multiple demos, and eventually it's kind of good to go back. Like, I actually went back and looked at some of them, and like the different ideas, like, and then you hear the finished, and it's just there's a progress bar. You know, it's 100%. Just like
now this podcast is getting released. I think it might be the Tuesday, Connor, or the Wednesday. So you will have seen the artwork by now and stuff, which will, I suppose, we'll talk about the actual name of the EP. It's going to be called Mute. Now, you can hear a dog barking, but forget about that. We went through a couple of iterations of what we wanted the EP to be. Like, we thought about taking 3 like kind of concept things and releasing 3 EPs, 3 songs each, and connecting them all together, which we still could do. Like, song wise, we still have the material to loop stuff together and be like, oh, it's a cohesive piece of 3 EPs, rather than doing an album, because you release an album one and done, it's dusted, like, it's just pointless. I like the idea of releasing loads of like bits and pieces, like, you know. So, but we decided, I literally only when we were doing the artwork, I kind of had an idea, because we were going to change the instead of doing because it was very hard to kind of build the concept thing with not a lot of time, because I tried to do it, then I was like, oh, you might as well save it until we're actually doing it, because I thought of it on the day being like, well, I suppose we can do 3 different names of the albums, link them together, put loads of symbolism in it and stuff, but then like we can save that for like when we have more solid work, you know what I mean, like, because there's a reason why the EP is called Mew, right? First of all, you would have noticed that the actual cover art is mute of colour, first of all, because this is just this is kind of the beginning of us kind of taking ourselves a bit serious now. It's the beginning, yeah. And I was thinking the next one might be called something like Blossom or something like that, and add a bit more colour to it and different symbols and stuff like that. And so basically this first one was called Muted because if you look up the definition of mute in the dictionary, it's basically being silent. And we have a habit of going incognito, especially with this EP. We went incognito for ages, just no activity on our socials, but it's hard to maintain both when there's just, this is difficult to do, especially we're a 2-man band at the minute, you know, which is just fucking am I doing all the instruments and doing everything ourselves, which is, it's a lot, it is a lot, you know.
Like, look, this is all a learning process for us, and it took us time to learn how to do stuff, and that's why obviously things have took longer, but
100%.
I'm glad, to be honest, we waited, because I do think we have a good product, like
a nice cohesive piece of work we do, yeah.
It's only going to get better, and that's the reality. Like,
exactly.
You know, we take what we learn from this and then get even better. So,
yeah, this was our learning curve, trying to learn how to manage ourselves in terms of communicating what we want in a piece. Like I can look back at like it's the songs we have now, and I can pick certain parts and go, oh, would have rather it like this, but I didn't communicate it on the day. And you're like, you should probably like, you need to be very, very specific with it, especially when you're creating something that's going to be permanent, that you want to get exactly what you want out of it. But you only think about this stuff later on. You're like, oh, it's too late now, and I can't go back in and change that part and all. But this has been a major learning curve, and a very, very what would you call it? Worthwhile learning curve, let's say. Very good experience, very, very good experience. And I think we came out on top, Connor. I mean, we went in, just 2 of us.
No, we did.
And we executed what we kind of want. Even if you listen to the old demos, we got mostly what we wanted. Like, it's basically, it's just better. But like, you can tell there's as I said, like, compare was stick figure, our demo compared to full picture, you can hear the big difference, but the stick figure is still there. Like, the chunk of it is there.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. The idea is all there, basically. It's just adding onto it and making it sound better. Like, look, the reality is we always wanted to, because we're a band and we're not really doing much like MIDI kind of stuff, we're doing real instruments. Like, we need to record as best as we can, and it was great to be in a space where we could, like, you know, have someone who knows what they're doing, and then we do what we know what to do, you know. And we have more freedom then to experiment. Like, even with Adam, like, he can do more because he doesn't have to worry about, you know, recording. Say with me, like, I can overdub stuff, or I don't have to, like, oh fuck, I have to get this all in one take. Like, you know, that kind of way.
It's way different. Like it's like cheating when you go in the studio. It's like when you're doing it all by yourself for your gaff man. It's when you go to with someone who knows exactly what they're doing. It's like cheating. Like, but it's good but that's why I thought it was good for us to get them. Great for us to get to learn how to do our own little demos first, because then when we go in, we can know exactly what we did want. Because when you're trying to find what you want, you can't do it yourself. At least you have the colour now that you want, and an idea of where you want that colour to go. I know I keep talking about colours and all that, but that's the way I conceptualise like music in my head, especially because like there's an infinite number of like sounds you can do and put in any place to make any song ever. But finding what you want and putting it where you want it is so, it's like a brush stroke. You're like, well, that if I draw a straight line, I could turn it into anything. But you have to have what you want in your head first, then find out what the colours you want, and find this and find that. And doing the demos first definitely made us realise, oh, well, we want this colour here on that piece there and that bit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
It made us.
Yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry,
go on. I said it made us learn the terminology. Like, even you in the studio were like talking about, and me, like, we knew from recording what like compression and stuff like that means, whereas like if we went in blind, like we'd be like,
I wouldn't have a clue.
We wouldn't know how to do it.
even using,
it doesn't work as well.
Like trying to like music language, which is like not like music language as in like notations and fucking like actual the written language of music. You know, like sheet music. We're talking about like communication to find out how you want this thing to sound while using words that make sense, and it is difficult. It's like a fucking different language.
It is very hard.
It's complicated.
like even if you were going like fuzzy and all that kind of stuff, it's complicated to think about. But
Or using
like
the word thick, and you're like, what? You're like, a bit thicker here. You're like, what's that even mean? Pull this part down of that note, but pull this part up. It's complicated terminologies and all, but it's pure layman. Like we were saying, we're like a bunch of idiots, and he was like, oh, this is. He was the dictionary, and we were trying to describe what the word was, and he had to find the word, and be like this. I'm like, that's it. It was. I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed trying to find the sounds and all. I thought it was good. That was one of the best parts. I'm like, yeah, try and get this thing here. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Oh no, yeah. It was great, and it never really felt like we were under a time pressure. Like even though we did like come into sense of like
yeah.
So when we started this button context, we thought we'd get the whole EP done in what was it, like a week, and then it ended up just taking twice as long.
Twice, about fucking 4 times as long.
About 4 times.
A couple of sessions. Couple of sessions, yeah.
Couple of sessions but well worth it. And look, you can't rush if something's good,
especially if it's constantly evolving as well. Like you don't realise something's missing until you do it, and you're like, oh well, this could be here. Like some of the parts of the songs we just played on the day. Like we just learned, like on the day you went, oh, we'll try this here. Well, that worked. Well, we'll keep that because that sounds better now because it makes more sense with the song. Like it's exact same as like when you're making art like that. It's very hard to put a stamp and say that's definitely finished, because you always want to put something else. Nothing's ever finished. You know what I mean? Like in your own head especially, it's never finished. When someone listens to it, they're like, that's a finished song, but in your head you're like, but that could have been there, or I could have put this on it. Now that was one of the issues I had, because on the day I'm like, it's like when I changed the name of the EP. That EP it's called Mew, right? But it got changed like fucking 3 or 4 times in my head. Especially we only changed the name and did the artwork on last week. I changed the name of it while doing the artwork. I went, oh, this makes sense concept wise, this whole thing, like it just clicked. It's like something went into your brain and went, this makes more sense. I'm like, oh damn it does make more sense. But that was happening when you're making music in the day in the studio. It's a whole different ball game, because this is going to be something that's going to be stuck forever. This is going to be attached to you. It's hard to let it go out, but it's done now. It's stamped, and I feel like it all makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. Like I think as well, when you look at a song, obviously, like I mean, it's like a piece of art in a way. Like when you draw a picture, there's so much more you think you could add to it or whatever. But
infinite possibilities, There's infinite possibilities.
Like there has to be a time where you like deem it as finished. But obviously, like it's like doing remixes. A song that was previously done is now mixed again and all that crap. So yeah, it is like, it's mad when you think about it. Just nothing is ever really truly finished. Like there's always stuff you can add to it. That's
the issue with like creativity. It's literally infinite possibilities. I think that's one of the things I realised about people who make art or anything like that. It's letting it go is the hardest part. Being like, that's finished. That for me, that's really hard to go. That's done. Let that go. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because nothing's ever fine. It's always too shit. It's always, you can never get exactly what you want in your head. You know what I mean? Like, it's like chasing
Adam is a mad perfectionist.
But it's like chasing something that doesn't exist. You're trying to you're trying to make it exist on fucking in sound, and it's I don't know. It's the more experience you get, I assume, the easier it's going to be. Like when you learn more types of stuff and how to get different sounds and all, But it is hard letting something go where you're like, oh, that's not exactly the way I wanted it in my head, because I can hear it in my head exactly the way I want it. But if you can I think it's getting as close as you can, letting it go is what you have to do. But god damn it, is hard. Like, it's just hard.
Yeah.
We should talk about, I suppose, the purpose of this EP. I mean, this is our kind of official semi-launch of Copper Fox, let's say, because we do want to get
launch,
we want to use this. This is our cohesive piece of work. This is the type of music we're going to make. This all the 3 songs have a bit of flavour in it, which is all like here we are. There's a bit of heavier stuff. There's a bit of lighter stuff.
Exactly.
The stuff, the influence is taken from the 50s, from the 70s. Even guitar tones and stuff like that. And there's the drum solos, the guitar solos. There's little bass section solos. I mean, we tried to, we didn't try, just by accident we kind of went, well, we'll pick different songs and see what happens. So we have a little piece of colour of who we are on all the tracks, so at least if someone listens, because when we try to explain to someone, like when someone's trying to find band members, you can see all the poster always goes influences are, and that always bothers me, because I'm like, well, I like 2 of them, what if I go in and you fucking, I don't understand that concept. Like, if you're a musician, just make the music, play it for the song, don't play it for
and like whenever we write songs, like, we both have different different like people who influence us and stuff.
100%,
and that's what
yeah.
makes some of the songs great. Like it's not all just like one idea. And we never go into a song being like, oh, let's use this 60s or whatever.
Oh, let's make this sound like Metallica. Let's say this, like we always go, what would Metallica do? And let's say if we did go, oh, this kind of sounds like Metallica, alright, but then what would we do? It's not what would Metallica do next. It's like, oh well, that sounds a little bit like that. Okay, cool. And then do the rest of the song in a completely different style if you wanted. If it happens to sound like something, that's fine. Because you can't hide from your influences. You can't run away from them. But announcing them and chasing them is wrong. Yeah, you can't. You don't shouldn't chase your influences, man. Because you don't want to end up sounding the same, fucking the same as them. Like it's already been kind of done. So at least with these 3 songs, there's bits taken from everything. Like it's like stealing little pieces and making your own. Fucking like it's like building on old ideas and shit, that have been done or whatever. Like there's not, I'd say there's nothing truly original about any musician, because there's only very, very few true original artists. Everyone else is just they've taken influence and did something else with it. Like they've expanded on it, which is kind of what we kind of are doing now. So we're hoping that because we do want to launch these songs and play live, but there's no point in 2 of us going up, and it makes no sense. We need to get the rest of the band together. Yeah, we need people in. Like
we want to play these properly and how they're done in the tune, is if you want.
And we'd hope to find
guitar 7 times.
Yeah, I can't play 3 guitars and the bass and sing at the same time. I've only 2 bleeding arms, like impossible. So it's a matter of finding players now, which people who want to stick around, or I'd rather someone who just loves music and goes, oh well, I like that song, but I don't really like that song, but here's something that I think would work on this, or here's a song that I wrote. I'd like someone like that who can let their ideas go and fight for them when they need to fight for them, but also let them go, because that's some of the issues we'd have with people in the band. If when we tried some people out, they come in, they're very steadfast on their own ideas, they don't really want to listen, and they're not willing to budge on anything. Like it's not like it's not in exchange. It's just well, this is what I think, because I think I'm better at this. You're like, well, maybe you are, but that doesn't. You need to service the music, not service your fucking your ego. Service yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yeah, that's it. And like the songs we have at the moment, they're very much our songs. So it's play the song. And
for the minute anyway. Like it's like if you like them,
for the minute,
at least you know what we're going to make next time. So in that, if you like this type of music that we're playing or wherever, or you just like the sound of the song, we're happy enough. Come in and play. I want to throw this EP into the join the band groups and be like, listen, if anyone likes this, you want to come down and play with us, we're gonna have a gig at the end of it anyway. If you think you can do it, walk away. If you can join us for a while, cool. If you want to stick around, cool. If you don't, cool. But I would like to have something in stone, being like, if you're gonna say you're gonna stick around, you need to stick around at least until after the songs are played live. Because we can't have someone coming in and then fucking off a week before we're gonna play live and like, well, we haven't got a bass player now, we haven't got a second guitarist now or something, So I think we should try to figure out a way to communicate with people and be like, well, if you're gonna come in and play until at least this is finished, then you can leave and do whatever you want, or if you want to stick around. But we need to have some sort of contractual thing, not like a verbal thing, being like, well, just stick around anyway and play the songs. At least we can launch. And it'd be good for you as well. People love coming this. It's good for the ego, I was played with a band that launched an EP. That's pretty cool, I'd do that for people for free. I've been saying that for years. I don't give a fuck. I could turn up and play on today. But that's what I'm kind of hoping happens with this EP. And we already achieved what we wanted, I think, when we're making it. We got a ton of experience. We kind of learned exactly how to communicate what we want now from the next songs. And I think we figured out that we definitely are good at what we do. And if anyone says we're not good at what we do, you're a liar. Because I rarely blow my own horn, but these are good. Like when you hear them, especially when you hear them all 3, you'll be like, oh, well, they're actually pretty good. They're pretty damn good. Especially compared to some of the stuff I've been listening getting released. I'm like, that's pretty dull. Their shit is not as dull. It has a bit of life in it or
that's
something.
That's what I'm saying. Like
life.
A lot of stuff being released sounds unfinished. Like ours are finished. Let's put it that way.
They're done. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the title song, this How Do You Do It, from the EP Mute.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to keep plugging it. I hope this this one we can. This one is radio ready. It could go on the radio. It'd be just a matter of us. Yeah, just a matter of us sending it to 1 million people. Now we have plans for that, but we won't get into how we're going to do it because it's very sus. We'll just
private.
Keep your secrets to yourself. Keep your secrets to yourself. I just have to make sure I touched on everything here. I'm pretty sure I touched on, yeah. Excuse me. Whew. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I kind of touched on. I don't know. I mean, I do want to kind of hammer in the note that this is us becoming more of a serious kind of artist now. And I never used the word artist, but when you realise that you actually are making something that didn't exist before, it's putting it into the universe. I mean, that's a big deal, you know. To put your soul out there, kind of. You could be you're putting yourself on a cross and saying, spare me, like kill me, criticize me for what I've done right now, because this is it. It's out. You know what I mean? It's difficult. It's fucking difficult to put yourself out there like that, but. I'm trying to.
Everyone that does it, like.
Oh yeah, well, I have no appreciation for people who just release art. It's even if it's fucking subpar or if it's bad. I mean, it takes balls to let something out there into the world. Yeah, because people are gonna talk behind your back. They're gonna talk all this crap. They're gonna cut you down. They're gonna be jealous of you. They're gonna say, "Oh well, that's this and that and whatever." And you just have to kind of accept that. That's the part of the negativity of letting it out there. You know, it's part and parcel of it, unfortunately. But I'm trying to get on a new kind of wavelength. I've been looking at a lot of stuff and I'm changing as a person, you know. I'm trying not to concern myself with other people as much in their opinions. I want to take myself serious. I want to take this art serious, a bit more serious now. So I kind of hope you like this new no bullshit kind of side of us, where we're not going to be slating ourselves constantly. We're going to take ourselves serious and put a life and soul into it anyway, you know, because it's kind of just what you have to do, you know. Yeah, did we miss anything, Connor? Do you want to mention anything else? I feel like we've talked enough about the EP.
I feel like we kind of mentioned it. Basically, just listen to it when it comes out, and if you hate it, tell us why you hate it. But tell us why you like it.
Yeah, especially
the criticism.
As the songs get released track by track, man. Leave opinions wherever you can. If you're listening to this through whatever, it's, let's say you felt, wherever, you're gonna listen to this anyway, but if you come from Facebook, because we're gonna link this, leave the comments on Facebook, leave them everywhere. You want to know, well, putting ourselves out to be crucified. Leave us negative, leave us positive. Did you like it, did you not like it, blah blah blah. We're happy with all of it, because it's part and parcel of what's gonna happen anyway. I'd like to say thanks anyways for if you've made it this far into this, and we hope you found this mildly interesting. We'll probably do another podcast as the weeks go on, talking about like the processes of how we recorded some, because we could talk about how we recorded and this and that, but we don't want to spoil the EP yet, because we want to do song by song.
That's it, yeah.
You know, we do song by song.
Don't want to spoil anything about it. Like, just listen to it is the main thing.
So, you will be hearing a lot from us. The EP is called Mew. It will be fully released, I'd say, in about 6 weeks. But the first title track, How Do You Do It, is going to be released on the 14th. So, you will definitely know what's going to be released anyway, because we're going to try and pump as much content out and as much promotion as we kind of can do with what we have. And I appreciate anyone that has ever once listened to the music that we put out so far. I appreciate it.
100%.
Because it's hard out here for a pimp. If anyone's ever seen that before, it's hard out here anyway. I'm pretty sure we've touched on everything now. I think all the information is there, isn't it? One more time, EP is called Mew. 3 songs, about 15 minutes long. Be fully released in about 6 weeks. 1 song every 2 weeks. 4th song is How Do You Do It. It's gonna be a banger.
Yeah.
And I think with that being said, actually, let's play a snippet. Here's like 10 seconds of the song. You know, why not spoil them, Connor? Spoil them.
Spoil them, give them a bit of...
So, we'll say thank you very much for listening, and you'll hear from us soon. And here's a little snippet from How Do You Do It, from our fucking initial release, our first EP, Mute.